Hutton Orbital. Our hull plating is made from recycled Frey Bentos pie tins. No, really, you can smell the gravy. Hutton Orbital. They don't make 'em like this anymore. Health and safety won't let us.
Hutton Flight Control aren't happy. It would seem that over the last week or so, they've been inundated with requests for the medium pad by commanders who get quite stroppy when they're told they have to wait. But I'm in a Python Mark II, they say. As though that will make any difference. My SCO frameshift drive is melting a hole through my hull, they scream. The controllers don't care whether you're a diplomatic flight from Donkum, a hag-hole trade delegation, or a secret INRA hit squad. The answer is the same. You can't land on the medium pad. Red Planet Taxi Services have parked one of their haulers on it and the driver has gone for a tea break. As another message comes in, a controller flicks a switch and begins to explain that the medium pad is not available, but then pauses and says, Oh, I see, before switching the message to the aging tannoy system. A crackly, tinny voice says,
Comics alive! Good evening, Commanders. Welcome to another thrilling Thursday at Hutton Orbital.
Ah, Thursdays, the day we all remember there's still one more day until the weekend. It's like the galaxy's way of keeping us humble. Well, apart from me, every day's a weekend for me.
Exactly. And what better way to spend it than with a large mug of Centauri Megagen and the latest from Hutton Orbital.
Oh, plus Thursdays are perfect for making grand plans you'll inevitably put off until Monday.
So, let's dive into some news and see what nonsense we can stir up today. Galactic Gathering announcement melts Hutton transmitter.
Dead Meat attempts to bribe his way off the naughty step.
A slow week 93 for Too Hot, Too Messy.
Zero G zucchini fritters are on the menu.
It's BGS Bingo. Round and round the status goes. Where it stops, nobody knows.
First, this evening, a narrowly avoided disaster over at the Orbital, with news of the annual Meet, Eat and Greet conference known as ECM having been leaked in advance of the official notification. A number of rather over-eager commanders decided to dial up the comms to Hutton and attempt to book their tickets. Rosemary, the telephone operator, nearly had a coronary. There she was, taking long-range calls from incoming Python Mark IIs fitted with Supercruise Overdrive, only a handful, when the switchboard lights lit up. Then they glowed really bright. Then they exploded. It turns out that a certain Millstone Barn had told his mate Ascorbius, who told, most of the galaxy. Commander Osric was so eager he booked 12 times. LCU booked for all of Cannon and asked if there was parking for the Gnosis. And a pirate with a squeeze box threatened everyone with space shanties if they didn't book right now. The outcome? The aerial that receives incoming booking transmissions melted, went all floppy and glued itself to the outside of the station. However, in double quick time, the team managed to get the actual booking system live, so Rosemary, the telephone operator, could go and have a lie down, and handed booking management duties over to Mr. Dustee, which may explain why one commander ended up being booked in for a yoga session, another for hair and nails, and finally one for a visit to Wanders instead of the expected ticket for the day with a jolly good barbecue at the end of it. We'd like to take this opportunity to invite the apology officer to say a few words.
Oh, hell no! I'm not apologising for Mr. Dustee. He can crawl back into his cupboard for all I care. He booked me a sundiving experience.
Well, as Rosemary's on her holidays, anyone wanting to book with ECM should do battle with Mr. Dustee over at elitecommunitymeet.info, and assuming you can go one better than him and actually pass the I am not a robot test, here's looking at you, Commander Puppy, get yourself booked in for a day of fun and frolics with the Hutton Truckers, sometime in early August. As for that melted aerial, LCU's taken it away and is attempting to sell it as a piece of modern art.
Dead Meat GF, notorious for his colourful language and cheeky antics, has once again found himself on the infamous naughty step in LHS 340. For those unfamiliar with station lingo, the naughty step is the unofficial timeout spot for Hutton's more mischievous members. A place where one is sent to reflect on their saucy behaviour. And let's just say, Dead Meat has practically engraved his name there with all the time he's spent. However, in an attempt to curry a little favour and escape the duties of polishing the naughty step with his toothbrush again, he came up with a cunning plan. A quick call to the Galnet News Digest, a nod and a wink to Beetlejude, famed galactic portrait artist, an all-round good egg, a few tales of, "It wasn't me what done it," and "It was those other boys," and "It's not fair," and she took sympathy on him. Cue one enormous portrait of his dear old mum's dog. This is where the plan swung into action. Sending the portrait over to Miss Deadmeat Sr., he pinned a little note to the side telling her how he'd been unfairly sent to the naughty step. Otherwise he'd be over to drop it off in person. Cue a call to Lael Wolf, who called Alvin, who called Snoz, who didn't hear the incoming call but got a text message, who called Hutton HQ, who called Lael for a special dispensation for Dead Meat to be allowed off the naughty step, whereupon he was supposed to go visit his mum, but somehow ended up planetside at an installation armed with a rocket launcher, an Ephelion, and a significant number of smutty jokes. He was promptly arrested, as it was a base belonging to some friends of ours. The apology officer was dispatched to smooth things over, and a note was sent to Dead Meat's mum saying he couldn't come out to play today as he'd been naughty again. He did have time to get a new toothbrush though. Won't last long. The naughty step is very grubby.
As we reflect on week 92 of Too Hot Too Messy, Hutton's quest to deliver mugs and gin to every human inhabited base and station across the galaxy, there's a drop in deliveries from week 91 to last week, with just over 560 each of mugs and gin delivered. Well, it's getting to the holiday season and commanders have to take a break away from their ships sometime. This week is also looking like a slow burner, but it's likely to pick up as the week progresses. It looks as though the nice weather has brought out commanders in their droves to get a tan on the sunny side of Eden. Of course, Hutton has the nearest loos, so they all drop in at the orbital first. The approaches are showing light congestion with medium pad availability even, rated as a bit of a squeeze, and small pad availability is at think thin thoughts and breathe in. There have been 15 runs this week, and they are Mac Monkey 93, 1 hour 1 minute 17 seconds on the 11th of May. Epaphus, 1 hour 4 minutes 40 seconds on the 12th of May. Tazam Bomb 86, 1 hour 5 minutes 57 seconds, 12th of May. Rocky Star, 1 hour 7 minutes 52 seconds, 11th of May. Milo Beaublanc, 1 hour 12 minutes 5 seconds, 11th of May. Pauper Rap. Was that Pauper? Or was it? Yeah, Pauper Rap. 1 hour 12 minutes 6 seconds, 12th of May. Winnie 1974, 1 hour 13 minutes 46 seconds on the 11th, and Dead Meat GF, 1 hour 23 minutes 41 seconds on the 10th of May. Oh look, Dead Meat GF has made a Hutton run. Must be a deal on it wonders. And speaking of Dead Meat GF, here's a little tale from his recent escapades. On his latest Hutton run, Dead Meat decided to challenge himself by delivering a particularly hefty batch of Centauri Mega Gin. Now, we all know that handling gin can be a delicate business, especially in 0G. However, Dead Meat, being the adventurous sort, thought it would be amusing to sample a bit of the cargo along the way. As he approached Hutton Orbital, his ship's autopilot was engaged while he enjoyed a celebratory swig. Unfortunately, in his slightly inebriated state, he accidentally toggled the cargo bay door instead of the landing gear. The result? A spectacular gin fountain erupted into the vacuum of space, creating what can only be described as a mega gin nebula. Fellow commanders in the vicinity reported a sudden sweet juniper-scented mist enveloping their ships. One even claimed his ship's senses were momentarily overwhelmed by the sheer alcoholic volume. Needless to say, Dead Meat arrived at Hutton Orbital slightly lighter on cargo, but much heavier on laughs. The station has since declared the area a no-fly zone until the gin cloud dissipates, and local wildlife has been seen flocking to the unexpected new attraction. And that, dear commanders, is why you should always double-check your buttons, especially when transporting a potent payload. Actually, why is he off the naughty ship again? Security!
Alvin, our beloved canine leader and inspiration to many, has always been a trendsetter here at Hutton Orbital. Known for his bravery, wisdom, and an uncanny ability to sniff out trouble, or biscuits, Alvin has recently embarked on an unexpected new adventure: space gardening. This latest hobby has not only captured the hearts of the station's residents, but also sparked a green revolution in the cold metallic corridors of our orbital home. The genesis of the garden. The idea began, as many great ideas do, with a simple observation. One particularly uneventful Tuesday, Alvin was staring intently at the hydroponics bay, his tail wagging in thoughtful contemplation. It didn't take long for the station's botanists to notice his interest. Alvin, never one to shy away from a challenge, was soon seen poring through the gardening manuals and sniffing at various seeds and nutrient solutions. With a determined bark and the support of Hutton's finest green thumbs, Alvin launched what would soon become the Bark and Bloom project. Hydroponics and green paws. Utilising a combination of advanced hydroponic technology and his own dogged determination, Alvin has transformed a previously unused section of the station into a flourishing garden. Hydroponics, the method of growing plants without soil by using mineral nutrient solutions in an aqueous solvent, proved to be the perfect system for gardening in space. It allows plants to grow efficiently in the microgravity environment of the station, and with Alvin's keen nose and sense of timing, the results have been nothing short of spectacular. The first successful crop was a batch of space tomatoes, which Alvin proudly displayed during a station-wide celebration. These tomatoes, grown to perfection, were juicy, vibrant, and surprisingly larger than their Earth counterparts. Word spread quickly, and soon the bark and bloom section near the docking bays became a popular spot for both residents and visitors. He was a little disappointed, as he'd wanted sausages and doesn't seem to understand that sausages don't grow on trees. But not content with just tomatoes, Alvin expanded his garden to include a variety of other fruits and vegetables. Zero-G zucchini, radishes, lettuce, and even strawberries began to flourish under his careful watch. Alvin's unique approach included a combination of traditional gardening techniques and innovative solutions tailored to the challenges of space. He used recycled water from the station systems, natural light filtered through specialised panels, and a custom mix of nutrients designed to maximise growth. And when that runs out, he has his own supply of fluids that he applies with as much disdain as he can to any plants that aren't growing fast enough. They soon get the message. One particularly ingenious invention was the bark bed, a special platform where Alvin could oversee his plants. The bark bed, equipped with sensors and automated watering systems, allowed him to manage the garden's needs with a precision only a dog of his calibre could achieve. His paws-on approach ensured that each plant received the right amount of care and attention. Alvin's green revolution didn't stop with just growing plants. He encouraged the entire Hutton community to get involved. Workshops on space gardening became a regular event, with Alvin himself leading some of the sessions. Residents were taught how to start their own mini-gardens, and the benefits of fresh produce in space were celebrated widely. The station's chiefs soon joined in the effort, creating dishes. The station's chefs soon joined in the effort, creating dishes that featured Alvin's homegrown produce. The Zero-G zucchini fritters and space tomato salad quickly became favourites in the station's canteen, and there was even talk of starting a small farmers' market to share the bounty with passing traders and visitors. Still no sausages though. Alvin's gardening project had a profound impact on life at the Orbital. The presence of fresh homegrown food has improved the overall well-being and morale of the station's inhabitants. There's something uniquely uplifting about biting into a ripe, juicy tomato or a crisp lettuce leaf grown right here in the depths of space. The greenery also provides a soothing visual break from the metal and machinery, contributing to the mental health of those on board. Looking ahead, Alvin has grand plans for his garden, mostly related to digging in it. He does like digging. There are whispers of an expanded greenhouse, complete with experimental sections for more exotic plants. There's also talk of incorporating small trees, and perhaps even a flower section to bring more colour and variety to the station. Alvin's vision is to create a self-sustaining, lush oasis that not only provides food but also serves as a reminder of the beauty and resilience of nature, even in the most unlikely of places. Plus, he wants Amelia to bring back some of the more exotic plants from her travels. So the next time you find yourself docking at Hutton Orbital, make sure to visit the Bark and Bloom Garden. It's not just a testament to Alvin's ingenuity and hard work, but also a symbol of what can be achieved with a little creativity, a lot of dedication, and a pair of very green paws. Who knew a dog could have such a green thumb?
Welcome again to Hutton's BGS Rundown, where someone who's had a quick scroll through the Hutton systems gives you their opinion on what all those flashing lights and warning messages are about. Well, it's a story of ongoing expansions and booms this week, so strap yourselves in. At the top of the influence table, we have the following systems. Hang on, LHS 340 is at 69%. What happened there? Did somebody buy something from the vending machine? Leave it alone. WISE 0855-0714 has moved from infrastructure failure to expansion. Nice work, truckers. Time to leave it alone for a bit though. Wolf 562, Wolf 124, LP 245-10, and Wolf 1481 and PSPL LF2 are all a bit above where we'd like them to be, so leave those alone for this week. It's all happening in Wolf 359. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear there was a Borg attack on. Current states are boom, infrastructure failure, civil liberty, and expansion. But everyone seems happy enough. There are also booms in Epsilon Eridani, Ross 671, and 36 Ophiuchi. We have assets in all of those, so get trucking. Atagat is in the middle of an outbreak, and we own Ziegler Extraction Hub, so it's worth trucking in medical supplies. Be warned though, Ziegler is a surface base and only has a small landing pad. Handy though for new commanders looking to assist with the outbreak and make a few credits into the bargain. Apart from a couple of wars and EDF system, that's pretty much it. But what does it all mean? Well, if you want to truck it, then truck much needed machinery and food into Wolf 359. You can also truck stuff to those boom systems and run non-combat missions there. If you want to shoot it, then go to a Thargoid Titan and shoot that. They're pretty big though, so they should be easy enough to hit, so long as caustic clouds don't melt your hull first. That's it. Happy trucking.
I do like the fact that we brought back the question, but what does it all mean?
But what does it all mean?
What does it all mean?
Yeah, we had some people the other day sort of telling us they quite liked the BGS bit and whatever else. So yeah, it's quite nice for it to be back.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it as gospel though.
Well, no, but we went through a stage where we were literally asking, but what does it all mean? And usually it was to confuse people who were new to the show.
Yeah.
Guest speakers. And then we went for a gap without having it. And now it's back again, and I really like that.
Yeah. I think it's one of those ones that I'm genuinely asking, what does it all mean? If you have opinions, put your answers in a postcard and send them to Hutton Orbital, near the big aerial, which melted.
which did melt and is now being sold as a piece of modern art. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah. Oh, crikey, what a week. What a week. I mean, anybody who thinks that there's no truth in these stories and we completely make them up. I mean, that first article.
Well, do you want me to ask some questions to Mr. Dustee?
Well, no, I was read the line before that bit.
I'm
multitasking.
Give me some time. No, put it back. Don't change it now.
Well,
give me.
Exploded.
Well, hang on a second. Yes, you can ask the first one.
Yes.
So I do have Mr. Dustee on the line, albeit I think he's doing bad impersonations again. And you can take your turns.
Oh, not this again. Right, Mr. Dustee, what do you have to say about the narrowly avoided disaster over at the Orbital? I hear the comm system practically exploded when the annual Meet, Eat and Greet conference bookings went live.
Well, I'd say exploded is a bit of an understatement. We went from a handful of coals to a full-blown switchboard supernova in mere seconds. It's amazing how quickly word travels when Millstone Barn and Ascorbius get involved. They could probably announce a surprise supernova and have everyone convinced within minutes.
Okay.
That's what it sounded like with somebody else's accent.
Yeah, who wants to take the second one?
Rosemary, the telephone operator, nearly had a coronary.
She was handling...
Oh, no, Mr. Dustee, you've gone off half-cocked. Hang on. Let him finish the question, Mr. Dustee.
Were you aware of how much stress those switchboard lights were causing?
Poor Rosemary. She was handling those incoming calls from Python Mark IIs like a champ, but even she wasn't prepared for the sudden surge. Those lights went from a gentle glow to a full-on solar flare. It's a miracle she didn't need a stiff drink or 5 after that.
5?
Yeah, who wants to do the next question for Mr. Dustee?
5!
Okay, then there's the matter of the melted aerial. Any thoughts on that?
Hang on, he's got a spinny light on his head now.
Ah, yes, the aerial. One moment it's standing proud, and the next it's a floppy mess glued to the side of the station. It turns out handling that many incoming transmissions at once was a bit too much for it. LCU's got the right idea though, turning it into modern art. At least it's found a new purpose in life, or should I say, in the afterlife of melted metal.
Okay. It's
Okay.
right. Okay. That was a bit macabre for Mr. Dustee.
The afterlife of melted metal.
Yeah. So go on, who wants to go with the next one?
What?
I think.
I will. So,
Yeah.
what about the mix-ups with the bookings? We've heard about commanders ending up with yoga sessions, hair and nail appointments, and even a visit to Wonders instead of expected tickets. Care to explain?
Always thinking.
No.
So there's a saying.
Yes.
Yes. I must admit, taking over the booking duties was a bit more chaotic than I anticipated. I might have misclicked a few times, or a lot. Commander Puppy got booked for a yoga session. Hope they enjoyed the downward dog. And as for the hair and nails, well, sometimes a bit of pampering can be just what a commander needs. As for the visit to Wonders, let's just say that Commander might have had a more adventurous day than planned.
Oh, crikey. Mr. Dustee is definitely glitching something rotten there.
Can I do number 5? 5!
You want to do the next one?
Yes, I'll do the next one. The apology officer seems to be quite reluctant to clean up this mess. Any comments on the reaction?
Well, we'll see.
So, our dear apology officer. She's got her hands full as it is, and I suppose a sun diving experience wasn't quite what she had in mind.
No,
Can't
bloody
blame her for
wasn't.
wanting me to crawl back into my cupboard. I did book her that sun diving experience as a, well, let's call it an unintentional adventure.
Okay.
So finally, do you have any advice for those who are still trying to book their spots for ECM?
Absolutely. Head over to elitecommunitymeet.info and prepare to do battle with the booking system. Just remember to pass the I am not a robot test. No offense, Commander Puppy. And if you do manage to secure your spot, get ready for a day of fun, frolics, and maybe a bit of
Oh, he's gone!
With the Hutton truckers in early August. It's bound to be a blast. Melted aerials and all.
And there we go, Mr. Dustee. Crikey! And just as a test to prove that Mr. Dustee is not completely pre-recorded on this one, does anybody have a question that was not predetermined there, just to see whether we can make him melt completely?
Mr. Dustee, when will we have the Type 8?
We have the Type 8 question mark. Here we go. Hang on a second. The little blue light and the red light is flashing. Hang on a second. Oh, it's going. He's thinking. I think you may have thrown him a...
Good. Bloody good.
Here we go. It's
something.
Well, that's a bit of a non-answer coming through. I can see his audio box lining up. Hang on a second.
Like you got a job for the Pilots Federation.
The legendary Type 8. The unicorn of the space trucking world. The ship that promises to be the epitome of cargo capacity and comfort. Well, if I had a credit for every time I've been asked that, I could probably afford to buy the entire fleet myself.
Okay. But is there any insider info, or are we completely in the dark? No?
It is... Oh, you can expect the works. More cargo space than a Type 9.
Oh, yeah,
agility
right.
That
Pull
would
the
put
other
an
one.
massive explorer to shame. And enough firepower to make a pirate think twice. And let's not forget the onboard luxury. Word is, there's going to be a pilot's lounge that rivals the best space stations.
Somebody has swallowed a marketing brochure on this one.
Yeah, somebody's drunk.
Yes, but it does sound like, if it's true, it's going to be worth the wait. But is there any idea on the timeline coming up? That's the important.
Somebody's been drinking the WD-40 again.
Yes, Mr. Dustee has.
CC The timeline.
Stop hitting your head off
Well,
the desk.
Lachlan is keeping that close to their chests. But if I were a betting man, and I am, I'd wager we'll see the Type 8 soaring through the stars within the next year.
Oh,
So
come on.
polish your pilot's license and keep your credits ready. The Type 8 is coming, and it's going to be stellar.
Someone, I tell you what, he's swallowed the flipping brochure, isn't he? I mean, there's a lot of...
He is the
Remember,
brochure now.
patience is a virtue, especially when it comes to something as spectacular as the Type 8. For the mug.
Oh,
for the mug!
Had to throw that one in. Absolutely.
For the mug!
Oh my goodness. That is actually, albeit the clicks and bumps and whistles, whatever, a live Mr. Dustee. Which,
With my voice.
Well, he had to borrow somebody's voice, but
With your telephone voice.
Yeah, my voice. Not
Yeah,
my
your
accent,
telephone
but my
voice.
voice. Actually, it sounded more Scottish than it normally does. You didn't try to make
apart
me
from the
too
clicking and
English, that's
clunking, and I mean, clearly
Apart
he's a
from the
machine, but that's how you tell you and him apart.
Yeah.
The clicking and the clunking.
With me, the clicking
no.
and clonk is me hitting my head off the desk. With him, it's just wheels and things turning.
The
I thought the
accent
difference
is
was we
very...
could understand what Dustee was saying.
I was going to say the accent is very Ewan McGregor.
Yes,
Yes.
we spotted
Yes.
that last time, yeah.
Is it very Ewan McGregor being Ewan McGregor, or is it very Ewan McGregor being Obi-Wan?
No, it's
Kenobi?
Ewan McGregor doing a bad impression of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I may, Dustee also knew how to pronounce epitome.
Yes.
Yes,
Hang
hang on a second.
Yeah, but not Lakon.
Yeah, but not Lakon, yeah.
I know how to produce how to say epitome. I know how to say other words like caliber.
Collider, yes.
Not
You-
Collider.
usually- Well, that's good. Sun diving will do that to you, you know. I mean, it sounds like a really exciting pastime, sun diving.
Exciting, yes. Pastime, not so much.
Oh dear. Mr.
I'll
Dusty's
have to get my eyebrows
Vulkarius, Mr. Dusty's flashing. He wants to speak. Hang on a second.
Vulkarius. Always a pleasure to impress a fellow wordsmith. One must keep the linguistic engines well oiled, after all.
Who says "oh"? Oh, I did just then.
I don't
Never
know.
mind.
But anyway, you seem to have impressed Mr. Dustee there, Vulkarius. We've lost
I'm not sure what that means. I'm also not sure what the downward dog is, and I'm also not sure, and I want to know.
Oh, downward dog's it's just a yoga move. It's just a.
Well,
I'll explain
Vulkarius,
it later.
when you spend as
Yeah.
much time in a cupboard with nothing but a dictionary and a thesaurus for company, you tend to pick up a few things. Pronunciation is key, especially when you're trying to sound sophisticated while discussing the marvel that will be the Type 8.
Okay, he's getting a bit snarky with you now. I think we better put him back in the cupboard.
You know, Vulkarius, you know when a dog stretches forward, it stretches its front half and sticks its bum in the air and stretches its front half before it gets up for a walk or something? That's downward dog.
Right, it involves stretching.
It's stretching, yeah, it's sticking your bum in the air.
Sounds painful. Sounds dangerous to me.
Right. Anyway, I suppose can you just tell Mr. Dustee he's got to get back in the cupboard now because I don't want to go near him. He's probably carrying something sharp.
Get back in the cupboard, you piece of junk.
Always a pleasure. Until next time,
Yeah.
keep those mugs full and those words fancy.
Shut
Farewell.
up.
Back into the cupboard I go. See you all soon.
That's okay. Right, that's enough.
He
for
went a
Mr.
bit Irish there.
Yes, he did.
Didn't he?
Yes. Anyway, well, welcome back to the show. Just having a bit of fun. Something I was messing around with today, which was getting Mr. Dustee to listen to things and sit there processing. And he's actually listening to Vulkarius there and replying. But I suppose very in character. Hello, everybody. It's all of us. We've got
Yes.
spam. We've got spam in chat. Who's got the anti-spam button?
Oh, I'm not even in the chat.
How do we?
Hold on a
Oh
minute.
dear, I've got to. I haven't got the anti-spam button.
don't
I haven't
appear to
got
have
it. Has
Should
anybody
have.
else got it?
I should have, but it's not there.
It's
I
not there
don't
for me
have it.
either.
I have. I'm trying to get it.
Flossy, get the pan, quick! Go on, let him have it.
Got the bugger.
Ah, there we go. Crikey! I think that was Mr. Dusty's revenge. That one. Anyway, look, welcome back to the studio. It was a bit chaotic this evening because I'm just being silly, but it's me and it's Flossy and it's Litho and it's the apology officer and it's Amelia and it's Vulkarius, and so I suppose traditional to ask. There was a Frontier live stream today. Wasn't there?
Wait,
No.
was that a question?
Sorry, I'm just a little concerned that we kicked that guy out of the chat for spamming and the apology officer dropped off voice. You don't think it's
The
connected, do
plot
you?
thickens.
Hang on a second.
Oh.
Have we melted the apology? Mr. Dustee's dragged the apology officer into the cupboard.
Could be.
Oh dear.
Could be. But to answer your previous question, no, of course there wasn't a live stream. It's weeks away yet.
Well, when's that? When are we now? What's the date?
It is the 16th today.
Right.
So it will be 2 weeks today on the 30th. Well, sorry,
So,
2
yeah,
weeks,
it's usually-
2 days ago.
So
the
somebody
28th.
actually
Wednesday, Tuesday.
able to check that the apology officer's okay there. I mean, it didn't inadvertently Scottish them or something. I don't know. Anybody able to
Oh
check?
dear, it seems there's been a misunderstanding. I assure you, the apology officer is perfectly safe and sound, probably just taking a well-deserved break after dealing with all the recent shenanigans. I may be many things, but a kidnapper is not one of them.
Methinks, protest too much, etc. Yeah, no, that was a serious question. Anybody want to check on
Kidnap?
Yes, kidnap.
Me? Never.
Okay.
I'm more of a gentle nudge towards the cupboard kind of chap. The apology officer must have slipped out for a quick cup of tea or to polish up those sincere apologies we all know and love. I wouldn't dream of disrupting their vital duties.
Or their vital anythings like internal organs or something like that.
Yes, or their vital signs.
Yes. Well, we have no idea what happened to the apology officer there, because
They were having a few computer problems earlier.
This is true.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll carry on regardless. I mean, hopefully, apology officer will be back for the puns and things. So, no Frontier live stream. We do have some ECM news. Maybe somebody want to fill me in? What's going on?
I think that the tickets for DaveCon have now gone live and people have started booking them. Rumour has it that there's at least 3 people already booked in.
Well,
But that could be
Amelia,
an
there's a
exaggeration.
6-word phrase you need to
Is
ask.
that would be us, right?
Yeah.
Dustee just tried to kill me.
Oh dear.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Come back.
I'm putting a child lock on that cupboard. That'll stop him.
That's a nasty red welt you've got on the side of your neck there.
Yeah. Well, I get a bit over amorous.
Anyway, so where was I? ECM. So there's a thing for those listening and the people here just for the stream drops. And I know you mercenaries, there's 1 or 2 of you. What's an ECM? Or Amelia, the 6-word phrase that you used during the BGS bit.
6-word phrase.
Yes, it starts with Bart and ends in
Amelia, yeah, it's the thing that you like that came back.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it all about?
Oh, yeah, that too.
How dare you, madam? You've
Well,
got that completely wrong.
Yes.
Did I?
Yes,
What's it all mean?
What does that all mean? That's it.
What's an ECM? For the benefit of people listening that may be here just for the drops and don't have a clue what it's all about, somebody explain. Somebody that's not me.
It's that thing you use against missiles, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes the wibbly noise when missiles are incoming. What else does it mean?
It means that we eat too much, drink too much, laugh too much, sleep too little, and have a thumping good time.
Right, and I mean, this is a new thing.
No, it's been going on for a decade.
A whole decade. Apart from
Give
once during.
Oh yeah, but we don't talk about that when
when
we're all
we had
locked up.
an outbreak situation on Sol.
Yes. Locked up, locked down, one or the other, something like that.
Right. Yes. So.
That one was meant to be my first.
Yes.
Meant to be.
Yeah,
You're supposed to
It ended
never
up
forget
being-
your first.
But
Unless you were
yeah,
really,
they
really-
say you
fault,
always
is it?
remember you first.
Right. Well, I mean, I've actually Mr. Dustee can jump in here because I've just asked Mr. Dustee what's an ECM. Hang on a second. Let's just see.
ECM stands for Elite Community Meet. It's an annual gathering where commanders from across the galaxy come together to share stories, participate in events, and celebrate all things related to our spacefaring adventures. Think of it as the ultimate social event for our community, filled with camaraderie, fun, and maybe a touch of chaos.
Oh, so Mr. Dustee's been to one then. Right, okay. Maybe a touch of chaos, you cheeky sod. Right.
Can I just check? Is Dustee banned from buying a ticket for himself?
Hang on a second.
I know there's an I'm not a robot
Is
button,
Mr.
but I don't trust him
Dustee
not to push it.
allowed to attend? Hang on a second. He didn't hear that one, so I'm just I'm relaying it. Apparently, it's quite the intriguing topic has come up on the panel on his chest. Oh dear. Hang on. Voice box activated, please, Mr. Dustee. No, you've gone silent again. No?
OECS. The perennial question. As much as I would love to attend and bask in the glory of all things elite, my duties here at Hutton Orbital often keep me quite busy. Someone has to manage the chaos and ensure the station runs smoothly, especially with all the excitement surrounding ECM.
Right, okay.
We're leaving him in charge of the station when we go.
I'm wondering how he plans to manage the chaos, if the definition of chaos is high sensitivity to initial conditions.
Potentially, yes.
Mr. Dustee's very, very sensitive to anything and everything,
after
including
a few,
conditions.
let's call them incidents, involving misplaced booking confirmations and the infamous sun-diving experience debacle, it was deemed best for everyone if I stayed behind to handle things from the control room. Plus, someone needs to ensure the naughty step stays polished and ready for the next mischief maker.
Okay, so that's a good reason why we're leaving Mr. Dustee behind. Anyway, so yes, so ECM. What date's it on, please? Flossy, you know what date it's on, don't you?
It's on the 10th of August.
That's this year.
Yes.
It's a couple of weeks.
2024.
It's a week earlier than last time, should we say? And now, just to avoid any discrepancies here with the location, it's at the Hilton St Anne's in Wokingham, which is down somewhere near Reading.
Sol system.
Down south somewhere.
On planet Earth. Last year we had 170 odd elite commanders get together and do stuff. Vulkarius, did you go last time?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Vulkarius
I
went.
think I did, didn't I?
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah. Because David introduced you to me.
Yes, no, I there was a bit of a rhetorical question. It was an intro to talking for a second. But this year you might have something we showed off on the show a few weeks back that you were talking about after the show last week that you're considering potentially showing off a tiny bit more of.
Yeah,
oh God!
I've got to... no, it's not part of myself, you filthy animal. So I'm making a puzzle game. It's not actually related to Elite at all, but what I want to do is give everyone who wants one, of course, a free demonstration copy if you're at ECM.
Ooh.
And that's the one we showed on screen about a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, a while ago.
Does it work on Xbox?
No, it doesn't work on Xbox.
Oh, for God's sake, it's not even cross-platform. Yeah.
Oh, pay to win again. Oh no,
pay to win.
I don't think it has any pay to. I don't know of any pay to win elements that I haven't added to it. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was also thinking. I was also considering that the ideas about adding things like solve times and such. And I'm kind of warming to the idea now. So I've got a few options about how to what I might want to add in there before I present it.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, that would be a good
Well,
way.
let's just say my curiosity is piqued.
Whoa.
Vulkarius has a knack for creating games that are both engaging and innovative. It would be a shame to miss out on the excitement of seeing it unveiled, and perhaps even trying my hand at it. Besides, it might be the perfect opportunity to blend in with the crowd and escape my cupboard for a little while.
Shut up, you don't have hands.
Right. So yes. I mean, there are lots of games. There are lots of retro. We had BBC Micros running Elite. We had an Archimedes, a RISC PC, an Acorn Electron, a Commodore 64, and a Spectrum running Elite, all at the same time. There are rumours we have discovered a multiplayer version of original Elite, courtesy of a certain Mark Moxon.
No, I did not know that existed.
Well, multiplayer in terms of it's got it uses an EcoNet and does a shared high score table. Not that Elite has high scores, that was one of the principles. But yes, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Moxon over on Twitter, X or whatever it's called, has revealed that. And as we've got a full EcoNet setup available, if I've got the time, I might see if I can get that running. There's also 4-player multiplayer racing with steering wheels. There's an Artemis bridge simulator in a separate room where you can all try and run a spaceship together. There's Hutton Orbital Live from the stage. There's someone with a squeeze box. All sorts of things.
Is the Elite themed arcade?
The Elite themed arcade machine running everything from Pac-Man to Street Fighter. Yes. What else? There was a full motion rig last time. We haven't heard from that commander, but there was a full motion sit-in rig. So I need to get in touch with
Blastard.
Yes.
Blastard, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Who the legend of CQC.
Beetlejude was in craft last time, wasn't she?
Beetlejude was doing art. Yes.
Yes.
We don't have any word yet on our special guest. Last year was Norman Lovett of Red Dwarf fame. We don't yet have any word on special guests, though we are trying to persuade somebody. We don't know whether they'll say yes just yet. Other than that,
there's also the Space Battle board game.
Oh, there was lots of space battle board games. LCU's one, wasn't it?
LCU had quite an interesting. It was called was it Crates and Adders?
Yes.
He also had a card game. I found a typo in his card game. Although I didn't.
We understand. Yeah, there's going to be not one but 2 3D printers. Yeah, there's going to be a couple of 3D printers turning up. Canon Interstellar are bringing the one off the Gnosis, and I've asked for a table for the Gnosis' own 3D printer. There's lots going on.
So I need to bring some biohazard tapes then, yeah?
I just want to see that thing emerges. It slowly emerges. It's just a hand giving you the finger.
Right.
It takes 8 hours to print it.
That would be very easy. There is no word yet, though they've not let us down ever. There's no word yet on Frontier turning up, but they've never let us down in the past. I'm sure we're going to try and wrangle somebody from Frontier there, but they're not there working. They're there as part of us and joining in. So, Amelia, there are tickets.
Yes.
Are they free?
No.
No, but there are 3 tiers of tickets, aren't there? We added an extra tier this year because we're conscious of budgets.
You should only just go for the maximum.
Well, yes, but it suits all budgets.
But what if you don't eat?
Well, exactly. That's what that one's for.
If you don't eat,
if you don't eat, you should
think of it as
learn.
a contribution to charity.
If you don't eat, you should learn because it tastes good.
Yeah, if you don't eat, I will eat yours.
Especially that barbecue.
That's what I did last year. I ended up eating Sandrine's lamb chops and then Nopty's lamb chops.
Right.
Is that a euphemism for something?
No, the lamb chops were glorious.
They were actual lamb chops. Okay.
I ended up having about 6 lamb chops.
That's disappointing.
They were really good.
Many lamb chops, yes.
Many times.
A plethora.
I only took 2. I mean, you could take as many as you want, but I only ended up taking 2 because they're bloody great big things. You know, they're not skimpy lamb chops.
Oh no, the barbecue. So just for the benefit of those listening that can make it. So if you just want to turn up for the day and you're going to feed yourself, it's a tenner, and that tenner isn't a sort of a fee that goes to make anybody money. Maybe except the hotel, but that's just to cover the costs of you being there and the hire of the room, that kind of thing. Then including lunch, which it was quite a sumptuous lunch, held out on the Secret Garden. That was a $26.95. But if you want to join in the lunch and the great big enormous lamb chop barbecue, there are other options, not just lamb chops.
That's the best.
It is the 55 notes, but basically you choose what you want. If you want to bring along a sandwich and just join in, spend a tenner. But if you want the super duper barbecue, then you can go for the whole hog, as they say. I'm not promising there is a hog roast.
Then you got all of it.
And then lots of people, basically, we've just got the stats back from the tickets book so far. At the moment, 44.6% of people turning up are bringing something for the raffle. The raffle table is just this huge pile of generosity from the community, where they bring along things to put in the raffle, and then we raffle it at the end of the afternoon before the evening session, and then everybody shouts at LCU for buying too many tickets, and lots of people go home with awesome swag. And then we do a version of this show live from the stage, which is always a bit of a highlight. And our special guests often join us on the stage for a bit of a skit. There is usually some music. We're going to have a Hutton sing-along, which we'll introduce you to in a minute.
Is it somebody's birthday?
Yeah, there are going to be words on the screen.
No,
it is going to be both a birthday weekend and a golden wedding anniversary weekend, by the way. We are celebrating that weekend.
Will there be a bouncing ball for the sing-along?
There will be a bouncing ball for the sing-along.
Yay!
We understand that LCU No Full Light One will be turning 70, or a number. I don't know if it's a round number or not.
I don't think he's turning 70.
Well, he's turning something anyway. It's maybe 80.
Turning a funny colour, probably.
Turning sour.
Actually, judging by their behaviour, maybe about 12. Anyway, but also that weekend, there's a certain person not far from here going to be celebrating their golden wedding anniversary.
Oh, Amelia.
Not me.
Jim.
Not quite.
Mr. Dustee.
No, Mr. Dustee.
How many's golden?
50.
50.
Oh, it's definitely not me.
Yeah. I think we know who it is.
Well, you know,
David,
Flossy must have been a child bride. That's all I can say.
Yes. Well, she'd have been 20 anyway.
Yeah, 20. I was.
You shouldn't give away the lady's age. But anyway...
I know you shouldn't, but, you know...
Well, everyone knows I've just gone 70.
Well, yes, because I was up there for your party with
you were,
with Monty. And, yes, yeah.
That's where I got this idea of coming here.
And super special news, Robbie's coming back this year. Robbie Wrongway.
Yay!
We missed him so much last time.
Why did they call him wrong way?
Yeah. So anyway, it's going on. It's a big gathering. Now, it's not just all about Elite. I mean, it started off because we're all friends that met through playing Elite. But actually, 99% of the content is not Elite at all. You know, the racing, the gang beasts fighting, the Mario Kart, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of not Elite stuff there. It's an opportunity to get together, have a laugh for a day in the company of fellow commanders, and raise money for charity. Amelia, we are raising for 2 charities.
Yes. Special Effect,
who got their BAFTA a couple of weeks ago.
Which is a really,
we
really
are trying
great
to persuade Dr.
charity.
Mick to bring the BAFTA along so we can all bask a tiny bit. I'm not sure we're going to succeed in that one. And the other charity?
Hearing Dogs for the Deaf.
Which is obviously the charity that helped Snoz and Alvin get together as a paired team, and one that's close to our hearts.
Our glorious leader.
So the gig is that
you do always have to be careful saying that one.
Yes.
You know, Hearing Dogs for the Deaf, because Hearing Dogs for the Blind didn't really work out.
No.
For anybody involved.
Or Hearing Dogs for the terminally unable to write scripts properly or something like that. No. He is a hearing dog, yes. And so, the way it works is no one gets a free ride. Everybody pays. The crew pays, Litho Breaker, me, everyone pays exactly the same. Nobody's making any profit out of it from our end. I mean, obviously the hotel charge money to be there, but nobody on our side makes any money off it. Basically, the money all goes in the tin to hire the room and put on everything. And every single piece of surplus, we tot up at the end, we chop it in half, and we give it to the charities, which last year was £5,030 exactly.
Whoa.
It was £5,000 exactly, because someone rounded it up, but then somebody sent some money late. Apology, officer.
What? I'll have you know I booked everything bang on time.
Yes, apart from to the wrong email address, so we got right, but yes.
Yeah. Okay. But that would have been £2,515 each for those charities.
It was a lot of money, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Well, actually, we did, and in the interest of being completely open about it, as a result of the Paul Vernon Memorial Collection that was donated and loaned by his wife after he passed, we did make a donation as well on his behalf as well to the charity that was involved with his condition towards the end. So we did actually take a little bit of it as promised and donate it to a third charity as well.
Yeah, but all of the proceeds went to charity.
They all went to charity, yes.
Yeah,
and we didn't even keep any back to pay.
I was going to say with no deductions.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we deducted
can
bank
see
fees and the things that we had to buy for the event, but that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked on the site. I think it was on the site. You had the entire. It was pretty impressive. The entire accounting for last year with all the expenses, the exact amount that went to the other charity, and the main.
Yeah, we do actually publish all the accounts, so everybody knows that the money they're spending, where it goes, and where it gets donated. So we do publish that out of a bit of transparency. We did spend a little bit of money last year on buying some equipment because we had to stand on our own 2 feet without some of the help we've been used to on the previous years for reasons. But so we had to spend a couple of pennies last time, but we kept it to an absolute minimum. I think the external bills came in. Yeah, a couple of £100 over the whole thing. So, and obviously the bank fees come out of that, but we've got a new payment engine this time, so the bank fees are going to be much lower as well. So more money for charity, yay!
Yay!
Other than that, we get together, we have a laugh. We'd love to see you all. There are all sorts of people coming that can out themselves on X and the forums and whatever else, but some streamers from the community and some well-known figures as well, and LCU. And yeah, basically we have a laugh. Right, that's ECM chat. If anybody wants to know more, Flossy, the website is... Put you on the spot.
Yeah, haven't you?
It's not I took part at huttonorbital.com. That's what that one's free.
No, I know it's not that.
I'm being evil to you, aren't I?
Yeah, you've been very evil.
EliteCommunityMeet.info was that?
EliteCommunityMeet.info.
Was that EliteCommunityMeet.info?
Was that EliteCommunityMeet.info?
I think it was
Yes, it was.
EliteCommunityMeet.info.
It was.
Oh, I thought it was
It was.
EliteCommunityMeet.info.
Right. It's okay. Flossy just confirmed it was EliteCommunityMeet.info.
Oh, good. So what's on EliteCommunityMeet.info?
Info.
All
on
information about Elite Community Meet.
Yes.
Info.
That is all one word, Elite Community Meet.
Yeah, and then it's dot
No,
info.
that's meet as in
info.
EET, not EAT. Even though there is a
So
big letter
overall,
yes.
it would be Elite Community Meet.
Info.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's info on there.
About Elite Community Meet.
Okay, well, before we go to the space news, I know it's going to be a long one, this one, but before we go to space news, we got sent a special treat the other day.
You say we. That's mine.
Well, no, we did. It was posted into the Hutton Discord channel by a Commander Righty Bird.
Uh-oh.
A Commander Righty Bird.
It's not chocolate then.
It's not chocolate. It was being creative.
Oh.
And Commander Righty Bird had actually... We haven't done a new song for Hutton in a long time.
Yes.
Actually, I've not programmed this one up to the end of the show bit. I'm not going to sing, but somebody's going to sing. So I'm hoping it's not going to break any licensing rules. But I'm going to play this. It's a couple of minutes long.
Let's find out.
We go shanty style. Or country and western, maybe.
Country and western, maybe.
Well, I fired up my sidewinder, feeling mighty bold. Heard tales of anacondas worth their weight in gold. Said I'll head to Hutton Orbital and make my fortune grand. But little did I know, it weren't quite as I planned. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. They said, come to Hutton, son, and get your big reward. An anaconda ship, you'll be the envy of the board. But as I landed gently, my dreams began to fade. For all I got was a mug and the memories we made. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. Now I ain't one for complaining about the way things go, but I sure thought I'd strike it rich at that Hutton show. So I'll raise my mug up high and I'll toast to the sky, for the mug will cry as the stars roll by. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. So here's to all you pilots, dreaming big and bold. Just remember, at Hutton, your fortune might not unfold. But take it in your stride and enjoy the ride. For the mug will shout with country pride. For the mug.
Woohoo! Round of applause. Epic
Hey!
stuff. That was such a sing-along tune, and we might be playing it at the end of the show as well, possibly, as I was programming that up as we finished. But yeah, well done, and thank you so much to Commander Righty Bird for sending that in. Enjoyed that thoroughly, and I've got it as an earworm now. It's stuck in my head. Anyway, there will be a sing-along version of that, and we will be encouraging all of the attendees to sing along to that tune at some point during the evening after we've had a few jars at the event. Right, it's time for space news, and we've got quite a bit of space news this week. So let's do the space news button.
When you don't know where to get more space news, 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 space news.
Oh, look, there's Alan the Aardvark and Alvin and everybody. Right, so I don't know who pasted these articles in, but who would like to host
that was
this
me.
bit?
Well, the first one I think is probably one that everybody knows about, isn't it?
Probably.
A lot of people did see them.
Unfortunately, I didn't get that memo. I missed it.
Yeah, I was about the same.
There wasn't a lot of warning. It was only a couple of hours before the actual event that the CME went off and people realised it was going to be a good night for us.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sucks, 'cause I've always wanted to see it.
What's a CME?
Coronal mass ejection. Big flary thing off the sun.
Big flary thing. Here's some video on screen, courtesy of the BBC, of what was happening. Well, I mean, we're talking from the UK, but it was visible elsewhere other than the UK. But it went way south. I mean, it's not normally visible down in Southampton where I am, and I was leaning out of a window going, ooh, and stuff. And then when I put my camera on it, it was even more ooh.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a lot of people were telling you to put your camera on it, and it came up. If your camera was in night mode, it would come up really well.
Yes. You could see stripes to the naked eye, but the colours that were coming through on the camera were awesome. And normally, occasionally you get it in the north of North Britain, but it's incredibly rare for it to hit the south coast.
Look at that, the pink one.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. So yes, there was an extreme geomagnetic storm that happened on Friday. It was Friday and Saturday. We were able to see it, but Friday was better. Apparently, it might break everything, and everybody was on power companies and all sorts on big warning. The last one caused a power outage in Sweden, but there were no reports that this one went pear-shaped. Basically, yes, the big burps that you see. So when you're flying past a sun and try not to crash into it in reverse, you see the big burps coming out of the big arcs and loops coming out of the sun. And those are CMEs, the coronal mass ejections, and they happen on all stars, well, most stars. And when they do that, they actually throw out particles and energy in the direction of wherever they're firing. Yeah, and obviously if the planet's in the way, they bump into the planet, and then they hit the ionosphere on the outside, and depending on what they're composed of, different colours turn up. So depending on what was ejected, you get the greens, the reds, the blues, the purples, and
I think it depends what they interact with as well, doesn't it? What's in that upper ionosphere?
Absolutely. So oxygen, the different elements cause different colours. Vulkarius, are you au fait with some of the science behind it or not?
Not at all.
No.
I know hydrogen's always red, isn't it? Hydrogen.
And so oxygen atoms glow green. Yeah, I'm looking it up on screen. Oxygen atoms glow green, The colour most often seen. Nitrogen emits purple, blue, and pink. There we go.
Well, that would explain that then.
And so the picture you see on screen at the moment looks very familiar to people who've been flying through space. You see this all the time, usually when you arrive through a jump, the big loopy things there. And so what happens is the big loopy things go off. Here we go. There's some pictures live, courtesy of the BBC.
It's like a big bubble popping off, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And when those things
yeah.
burst, those arcs burst, they chuck out the charged particles in the direction of a planet, or actually into space. And then if there's a planet in the way, they hit the atmosphere and do stuff, which looks cool. And
they're charged, and we've got a magnetic field, so they interact with the with whatever is in your upper atmosphere.
Yes.
So hence we're getting a lot of we got a lot of pinks and purples and greens because we got an awful lot of nitrogen, and we get a fair bit of oxygen as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to get purples and greens.
So that was very cool. I mean, I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights, and I had expected to go to somewhere cold and icy and north to go and see them. I'm sure if I went there, they'd be much more spectacular, like Glasgow. Yes.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to see them, but that was quite cool to see, without having to travel anywhere other than my balcony. So the second one then.
What was the second one?
Is John McFall.
John McFall is the first. Well, he's hoping to be the first para astronaut. His stories in there. I think he's had an amputation in one leg. So he's hoping to lead the way for astronauts with disabilities.
Yeah, I'm just here's a picture of the Whizzy machine. Yeah.
I heard para astronaut and I immediately thought paratrooper.
Yeah, that's been done.
Yes.
He's
he lost the lower part of his right leg in a motorcycle accident, aged 19, and wears a high-tech prosthesis normally.
But if you scroll down, you can see him sitting on a gym bench.
There we go. So he's got one of those running blades. Yes.
Yeah. It looks like he's doing a lot of gym stuff and things like that. So yeah,
Jim,
he's.
Can you confirm this?
Yes. Is that your kind of stuff, Jim?
He's not been doing me.
Okay.
Okay. But he's also an orthopedic surgeon.
Yes.
But training as an astronaut. And he's also an athlete, an orthopedic surgeon, and his running blade. And this is running blade.
Yeah.
Basically an all-round action hero with a prosthetic leg. Yes.
I think part of the thing is when he goes up there, he's going to be working without his prosthetic leg, and I think it's to see the effects on his stump, the stump of his.
No, he actually says he's taking prosthetic legs with him.
He's taking it with him.
Yeah,
okay.
So he's apparently going to have special ones that are designed for use up there as well.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of him with R2-D2. Anyway. Very cool, and strength to his arm on getting up there and being picked and getting through all the medical tests and everything else, to make sure he can get up there, because that's. But
that looks cool. That looks like he's kind of leading the way for people with disabilities to, it's got them thinking about it.
Well, I mean,
is good,
Zero G has got to be the best environment in some ways. In the because he's not, admittedly, I mean, the guy's an athlete on that blade and everything else, so he's clearly, far more capable than I am at
but he's
running
around. He's a good first person to say.
Yeah, absolutely. But in Zero G, it's almost less of a thing. You're
absolutely. I mean, if you're a wheelchair user and you go to space and it's zero or microgravity. What a difference that's going to make.
It's got to be very liberating as well. So,
I mean, exactly.
It's awesome. Basically, the fact that he's doing it, fantastic.
Yeah, that looks like R2-D2 and his wife and kids. I'm guessing either that or it's his family.
Didn't even know R2-D2 was married?
No. He's littler than all his kids as well.
What, R2-D2?
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So before we go to the other bit that always entices Vulkarius, we've got to make Vulkarius work a tiny bit first. So I'm going to end the space news. Hang on a second. Dun, dun, dun.
When you don't know where to get more space. space news, 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 space news.
That's some very buff aardvarks there. All on the screen. That's a terrifying aardvark.
So, do we have...
No, we can't do that bit.
No, we're not there yet. This is a bit that isn't in the script, interestingly.
Okay.
This is the new bit. The special...
Okay, why do we not put these things in the script?
Because I'm
in the script.
Because David does everything at the last minute.
Yes.
That's why we don't put it in the script.
It's only been in the script for the last few weeks.
It's clearly visible in the script.
Yeah, it is now.
Yes. Anyway, Vulkarius, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so at the moment it's showing your pictures, but I do have a video from you this week, which I will be putting up on your big screen sometime about... Whoops! No, broken it. There we go. There's your video. You are orbiting...
Titan Heart, that's right.
Please talk us through.
I'm in the wing. That's not... That can't be my video, but I'm pretty sure I know whose it is.
Oops. Well, I saw an email. I grabbed the video. There's a video. It's got somebody near a spire site.
Yeah, there's a slight story behind that. So, that would be Alexandra killing, whatever's on the ground. So I was called in there, and it was just like, bring the turret multi-cannons, and it was just fly down here and like what by the tower, lower. So I thought, what land here? No land, just lower. I was like, oh, no, if you say so. Now, Hart points out, fire at will, 402, and go have your nap.
Right,
so I just thought, I'm not seeing this Python again, am I? But it turned out it was a pretty good plan. So I was just there with multi-cannons, which were just fire at will on the scouts. And in the meantime, this is just bombing stuff on the ground. That's a Banshee. What we found out over this is actually thanks to the post-disaster evacuation service. The Banshees are worth 10 times anything in the sky. So if you bring missiles, the blue ones, I think that's just the enhanced AX. So you don't need the Sirius or anything. But yeah, if you just bomb the Banshees, the little revenants you can take out with normal missiles. If you destroy the Banshee first, because the Banshee will shoot them down otherwise.
Right. So this is obviously...
Yeah, so it's really good to do. So especially if you've got if you're in open, a whole load of commanders are just annoying all the Orthruses. They summon a load of scouts. It's the scouts. If you can clear out the scouts with multi-cannons, if you can bomb stuff on the ground, all of that's really, really good to do for progress.
Okay, so for the benefit of people who haven't done Spire Site and Thargoid stuff before, explain why, I mean, other than just sheer fun, are you doing Spire Site stuff at the moment and where?
So the why, when you do actions at a Spire Site, this includes sabotaging it or destroying ships at it, it gives progress by percentage to the outermost 10 systems. So you can imagine if you have a Maelstrom that's got over 100 systems, it's not really worth doing. That percentage is going to be, it'll work, you're just not getting much from it. When you've got one like Haddad this week, which I was going to get to in a moment, it's got far fewer systems, they're further in and one hell of a lot stronger, that percentage counts for a lot more, which is why we do it. We push that percentage for those 10 systems. It maximizes at 85%, but we then clear up the last 10% at the end. The last 15% at the end normally.
Okay.
So that's why we're doing the reason to go there. That's not destroying Orthruses and getting 40 million credits each is for that progress, that percentage progress.
Right. So how's it going?
There was another. Oh, and where I was going to get to where in a moment as well. How's it going? Well, I was going to get to that too. You've foreshadowed my entire briefing.
I'm interviewing you with extreme skills. Well, please do carry on.
So this is where I need to cough and say questions at the end. Because, of course, if I then cover anything you were going to ask. Yeah, okay, so the Obrumpent Thargoid forces are cattywampus around Haddad now. 11 control systems and 1 alert. So that means 1 more week of spire sites and research dumps. It also looks like a bunch of commanders have started hitting the Titan already. I'd like to think that it's all practice runs and perfecting nanite builds and perhaps trying the Python Mark II. But with a solid 4% damage dealt to the first onion ring, there must be many of you who really like bombing the core. That said, this should be the last week before Titan Haddad goes vulnerable. So as always, if you want to be sure you don't miss out on delivery rewards, definitely wait until at least the weekend, then fly over there. That's HIP 30377 with Supercruise Overcharge, of course, and get yourself 2 million credits in core damage. That way, even if the Titan gets manhandled or womanhandled, as soon as it's compromised, you did 2 mil, so you have a week of coverage. This week, as I said, we have an alert. That's in Maruidugus. Who names these things? So we need evacuation runs and missions over there. Authoress hunting works, but realistically, that also works at a spire site. Speaking of which, the spire site target is still Col 285 Sector, US-Z, B14-7. This week, as you can actually see, with actual video, which I didn't expect, this week it's actually daytime. It's been night there for ages. I looked it up on the galaxy map.
All right, folks, as we wrap up this interstellar shindig, it's time for
yeah, that's what I thought. Back in your cupboard. Yeah, I actually looked up, as it was Planet 12C. Apparently it has a cycle of 46.6 Earth days, so that means we should, in theory, have daylight there for another 23.3 Earth days. Just in time to go for 100% this week, clear the site itself, and never visit it again. So, sabotage it on foot, kill banshees, kill scouts. If you go for the Orpheus, remember to be ready to deal with the old Cyclops. The last round of
pointy sticks
drops,
at the ready.
Yes, yeah. About those numbers I mentioned. So how do we scale it? If anything in the air is worth 1, so that's a scout or an authoress, they're actually worth the same. The banshees are worth 10, and doing a sabotage is worth 50.
See, I've got pictures of the aliens coming down towards the ground. They go whippity, 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 and going down layer by layer as people are trying to shoot them now. Space Invaders style.
So that's, of course, there are more scouts and a few banshees around compared to doing 1 sabotage, but that's generally what things are worth. So cool. If you can clear up a whole load of scouts, that's worth.
So the timetable then on sort of progression for the remaining Maelstroms and Titans.
Oh, I didn't have the remaining ones. I did have a bit about Haddad. I'll get to that afterwards, I suppose.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
So the last round of research drops is up in the Thargoid War thread, and this week I'm definitely prepared with a link, which I'll give just afterwards. If you're going to run a system yourself, that's research, pick one which isn't already covered and post what you're doing. Or if you're just doing research samples themselves, there are plenty of carriers in the list and exactly which systems they want. Unless Titan Haddad pulls out something new and takes a whole load of control systems out of nowhere, there should be absolutely nothing stopping us leaving it at 2 control. So it should be wide open next week for discombobulation. And therefore, its time to live from about now should be about 11 days. That was it. But although you asked about the other Maelstroms, so a couple of them need some initial clearance. Indra is the one everyone's looking at next. I say everyone. So the post-disaster evacuation service, anti-Xeno initiative, various local factions. That's going to need a bit of planning, though. Those lists, so when I drop the link, you'll see like a 10 system list. We need something more like 100 system list to do Indra. So it'll probably a couple months away at least. So and that's just the next one. So the first few, we've kind of done the easiest few. Maybe Oya might have been tied with like Thor, perhaps, for difficulty, but Ligong's is the easiest. Tyrannus is kind of third, and Hadad now is kind of second. So we've kind of picked off after Hadad, we'll have picked off the easy ones. It'll take much longer between Titan kills from there.
Okay. Cool. And are we getting any teeth back in? Any indications that the Python 2 is any good for this, bad for this, or having any impact at all?
Looking at I haven't tried it myself or seen video of it, but looking at having flown it and having looked at the loadout, I think it's actually going to be a very competent Titan attack vehicle. If you
this one is the long haul, though. I mean, this one is slower than the future ones that are coming.
When you say
in terms of the how slow it's going down, so we've got better gear potentially, but the current Maelstrom is a slow one to deal with.
The Maelstrom Hadad is, like I said, it's one of the easiest to clear. It's like the second easiest to clear. Yeah. Although, it'll be. It still won't be considered vulnerable this week. Like it's 11 control and 1 alert, but for the resistance purpose, it's 11 control. Even that, like it's far fewer than the 130 odd it had a few weeks ago. But there's almost no like continuum, like no gap between being almost impossible to damage and being incredibly like destroying it within a few days. So it's going to, if everything goes well, it's going to drop from 11 down to 2. So for a bit of reference, we all destroyed Tyrannus when it had, it started with 6 and it rose to 7, I think. Since then, we had initially 7 at Oya when all that 30 alert fan appeared, but 7 seems not really doable nowadays. There must have been a lot of I don't know if there's a good word. Like the first, it must have drawn more attention with everyone destroying the first one than with fewer since. So we can't really do 7 anymore. Ligong we did with 3. Oya, of course, we did with 0, and this one's going to be at 2. So it should be like from Thursday, everyone's going to be bombing it. It's probably, in my loose estimation, it's probably going to go down on Saturday night. So there's probably going to be an explosion around.
So Sunday basically, night, when a bit like with the Aurora Borealis that we all saw, when is the when is the I want to go and see the pretty stuff without actually doing any work?
That you also accept me.
Pardon, what?
That you also accept me. The Aurora Borealis.
Yes, that one. So if you're Amelia and you don't want to miss the Maelstrom Borealis or whatever,
the only responsible answer here is 24 hours after the meltdown starts. You will be notified in your inbox when that occurs, and the galaxy map will also say an explicit number of hours until it does explode.
Right.
So with that in mind, the times being variable about when commanders actually take the thing down, it could be the middle of the night for all we know. But probably, usually, all things being as expected, I think meltdown will be around next Saturday evening. So the explosion will be next Sunday evening, around there somewhere.
Well, that's convenient. Sunday nights, usually telly's a bit quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ligong was like that. So it might be, I suppose, we're just kind of speculating at the moment. So Ligong had 3. It went down on a Saturday evening, and of course the explosion was on a Sunday evening. Hadad will have 1 fewer system protecting it. So in theory, it should take damage more quickly than Ligong.
Right.
But then again, it's also two Titans along from Ligong. So we don't know how much turnout there'll be until we kind of.
I mean, the turnout generally
after the show on
indications we've got a lot of people joining in, or
well, like I said, there seemed to be there's like 4% damage on the first onion ring at the moment. And that didn't happen today. It can't have happened today because it hasn't been enough time. One day is not enough time. That's been going on for weeks. So there are people hitting this thing despite the resistance. There are always commanders hitting this Titan. It's difficult to judge exactly how many or exactly how how efficacious they're being.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I think Mr. Dustee's got his hand up at the moment. Before we finish this section, do I risk it? He's had his hand up for about 2 minutes at the moment. I'm gonna risk hitting the button to allow him to speak. If you don't mind. Hang on a second. I have no idea what he's about to do. He's been listening.
A special thank you to Vulkarius for his enlightening update on the Thargoid warfront. While I'm tucked away in my cosy cupboard here at Hutton Orbital, Vulkarius is out there playing hero in Hadad, keeping us all informed about the bug battles. Your strategic insights are invaluable, Vulkarius. Truly. Because, without your guidance, we'd probably just be floating around aimlessly in space, trying to figure out which end of the ship points forward. And let's not forget your advice on what everyone should be doing. I'm sure all the commanders are taking notes between dodging Thargoid shenanigans and patching up their hulls. It's commanders like you who keep the rest of us from accidentally turning on the coffee machine instead of the shields. So from the depths of my cupboard to the front lines of Hadad, thanks for being the galactic GPS we never knew we needed. For the mug, Vulkarius, and for making sure we don't get ourselves vaporized.
There you go, Vulkarius.
You sarcastic blatteroon.
I can't work out whether he's sort of talking honestly or yes. Anyway, well, thank you very much, Vulkarius. I think it's Amelia.
It's time.
Wait, it's not quite time. I have to push the button. I have to push the button first.
Yeah, what do we have a button for?
There we go. I've taken Vulkarius off the screen. Please now.
Okay. Finally.
Do we have a word of the week?
Yes, we do. Word of the week this week is lollygag.
Lollygag, what does that mean?
Lollygag means to spend time aimlessly, idle, to dawdle.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
I can indeed. Floor mopping guy had no time to lollygag. He had a whole station to mop. That's 2 sentences, but you know what I mean.
And for those of you who are interested, the spelling and the meaning is coming up on the screen now.
I'll post them into the chat. Give me
Isn't that
2
what
seconds.
the guards in Skyrim say?
Oh, lollygagging lollygagging is a good one. I've heard lollygagging a few times.
I use that fairly commonly.
Yes.
Yeah. The guards in Skyrim say they used to be an adventurer until they took an arrow to the knee.
Arrow to the knee.
An arrow to the knee. Oh, what is that? An SCO to the hull. Yes.
Anyway, you're distracting me now. What do you call an anteater who's good at golf?
Jeff.
Yeah, you do call him Jeff. You know Jeff, you mean he's very good at golf. He always comes in under par. In fact, you could say he is a pardvark.
Oh.
Aardvark!
Pardvark! Please.
There you go. Look, I've got a picture especially on screen.
Oh, I need to see.
Mr. Dustee's been drawing.
Oh, yes, that's good.
Yes.
That's good. You better not smash that window.
Yes.
Is he going to hit? Is he going to hit that ball backwards?
No, he's just addressing it.
Lollygag.
Oh, what?
Lollygag!
What?
A splendid choice, I must say.
No, you're late.
For those not in the know, lollygagging is the fine art of dallying about.
Yeah, we know.
Doing sweet nothing with the
Thank you.
utmost dedication.
Sweet
Now,
nothing,
as
yes.
I sit here in my cosy cupboard, I can't help but think how fitting this word is for certain members of our crew.
What?
Looking at you dead meat, GF, you're supposed to be on the bridge and not off on one of your unauthorised adventures. And let's not forget our dear apology officer, who may have perfected the art of lollygagging just to avoid the next inevitable crisis. But
Shut your face, you! Shut your
lollygagging what we all aspire to during those quiet moments between dodging Thargoid lasers and making record-breaking Hutton runs, it's the true essence of spacefaring leisure. So, Here's to a week filled with productive procrastination and masterful lollygagging. For the mug, and for the joy of doing absolutely nothing.
I'm going to start throwing AA batteries at you.
I like the matter-of-factly way they say it, for the mug.
Yes, for the mug.
and it's at the end of every single thing said.
I think that's how we sign off tonight. It's just go, for the mug.
Yeah.
I think we should start doing that everywhere, all the time.
Do not encourage the Mr. Dustee, okay? It's just...
Too late!
I have to say,
Encourage him.
Go on.
I'm thinking of peeing on his charging port, not encouraging him.
I'm not even... No, I've just had to mute him.
Don't pee in the charging port, that will go spectacularly wrong.
You do realise that the audio feed is going to Mr. Dustee, and he's just heard that. I mean, actually, genuinely, and I've had to mute him because he wanted to reply to what you just said. So no, I've had to pause Mr. Dustee there because I think he's getting a bit cross. Right, Flossy, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
You are ready. I don't know what tune it's going to play.
No.
It's probably going to be appropriate. Mr. Dustee has chosen it, but here we go. It's Flossy with the CG News. Oh, it's this one. It's lovely and soft.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's CG News. Well, I'm afraid there aren't any again this week, though I did hear a rumour that there may be one very soon. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
And now, hand over to Beetlejuice and Witherspoon for the Galnet News Digest. For the mug.
Okay, Mr. Dusty's pulled the plug.
Seamless.
There we go.
Galnet News Update, 16th of May 3310. Commanders were reminded this week that we've lost the best paint job the galaxy has ever known. Replaced several years ago by the frankly inferior chromed paint job, the original chrome finish acts as a mirror, reflecting in some detail everything around the ship. Theoretically, but not actually excellent for fighting Medusas, this rare paint job was originally sold for the equivalent of 5,000 arcs, but was only available during the month of December. When it was replaced with the chromed version, allegedly on orders from the campaign against Chinese, commanders who already had the paint job were permitted to keep them, as well as being gifted free chromed ones as well. But if you didn't already have them, then the opportunity was lost forever. A bit like the Cobra Mark IV, a ship known only from ancient legend. It was community luminaries, Commanders Burr and Reaney, who reminded everyone of our chrome paradise lost. Whether a campaign to reinstate the shinies can be organised to get these wonderful paint jobs on sale once again is doubtful. Perhaps we just need to remember how glorious they looked, or be grateful that we had the foresight to buy them when they were available.
All that noise. Well, thank you very much to Commanders Witherspoon and not Beetlejuice this week. Beetlejuice was too busy delivering pictures of puppies over to Dead Meat GF, and I am aware of the innuendo in that one. And so is he, most of the time. So, Amelia, we don't have a Galnet Rares Digest this week. We have gone 7 minutes over our usual timing.
Okay, That's not that bad.
Which is not too bad, not too bad. But it's the end of the show, which means it is traditional for us to go and raid somebody. So we're going to play the end of the show tune and play some credits, and then we go and raid someone. So if anybody in chat's got suggestions, we need to find somebody to raid that needs more viewers and is doing elite stuff. And
Rosa Tequila.
Ooh. Hang on a second. I'm just calling that one up now.
Oh, you think you're funny?
Anybody else got any suggestions? Which one? Where, what?
Rosa Tequila.
Okay.
All one word. ROSA Tequila.
All right. I don't hold grudges. My ex does.
I'll always hate her for that, which is a grudge.
Well, we can always go and drop in on Rosa Tequila. Let's just glancing at anybody else from the drops end of things as well, just because I know people might not have got the drops. We haven't been talking long enough. I can't see any others.
There's
drops
Beast 20983.
Beast.
Who's German.
Is it being done in English or is it exclusively German, that one?
No idea.
There's Eralm, got millions. There's the
Don't
Arty
speak
Party.
either one of those.
There's the Emulated Penguin, got millions after we dropped somebody, a load of people on him the other week.
That emulated or immolated?
Discombobulated Penguin. We start up a competing channel. No, I think we might have to go with Rosa Tequila then. Rosa Tequila, spelt right. I had to check.
Rosa Tequila.
Tequila.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything else to add before we get towards the end of the show?
For the mug.
Well, it's good night. It's for the mug from me and it's for the mug from them. For the mug.
For the mug.
Well, Mr. Dusty's got his hand up again.
What does he get his hand up this time?
I have...
Don't ask.
I have no idea. It might or might not be the right...
All right, folks. As we wrap up this interstellar shindig, it's time for a few thank yous. A massive shout out to Amelia for keeping the chaos to a manageable levelty and making sure Mooncake doesn't turn the control room into a feline playground. To the apology officer who deserves a medal for attempting to smooth over the aftermath of our antics, especially after that sun-diving debacle. You're a saint and we owe you several gallons of mega gin.
Yes, you do.
You glorious pyromaniac. Thanks for all the spectacular explosions and for somehow not reducing the station to space dust. Keep on breaking things, but not too much. The legend that is Flossy for reminding us that community goals are a thing and that, no, we can't just wing it. You keep us all in line and we love you for it. Vintatun, for your unending patience and for not throttling any of us, despite having every reason to. You're a paragon of self-restraint and we... salute you.
Get off, you creep!
For showing off that shiny game at ECM and giving
sarcastic
us all
mode again.
Ridiculously excessive about. If we go missing, you'll know we're deep into gaming bliss. A special thanks to my mum. Because if I don't thank her, I'll never hear the end of it. Plus, her cookies are
Fucking
the best in the
hope not.
galaxy. Fight me if you disagree. To everyone who supports us, listens to our ramblings, and keeps this mad Hutton Orbital venture from spinning out of control, you're the real MVPs. Seriously, we couldn't do it without you. To the ECM attendees, may your mugs all be full, your docking maneuvers smooth, and your shenanigans legendary. Thanks for turning up and turning the dial to 11. And finally, to everyone else we might have missed, thank you for putting up with us. We know we're a handful, but hey, someone's got to make the galaxy a more interesting place. So, until next time, keep your thrusters hot, your mugs full, and your mischief levels high. For the mug, there you have it. The irreverent thank you monologue to end the show. For the mug.
For the mug.
For the mug. He can talk.
For the mug. Fucking hell.
Well, I fired up my sidewinder, feeling mighty bold. Heard tales of anacondas worth their weight in gold. Said I'll head to Hutton Orbital and make my fortune grand. But little did I know, it weren't quite as I planned. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, What did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. They said, come to Hutton, son, and get your big reward. An anaconda ship, you'll be the envy of the board. But as I landed gently, my dreams began to fade. For all I got was a mug and the memories we made. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. Now I ain't one for complaining about the way things go, but I sure thought I'd strike it rich at that Hutton show. So I'll raise my mug up high and I'll toast to the sky, for the mug will cry as the stars roll by. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. So here's to all you pilots, dreaming big and bold. Just remember, at Hutton, your fortune might not unfold. But take it in your stride and enjoy the ride, for the mug will shout with country pride. For the mug.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?